Prozingis' shocking return. In the darkness of a packed TD Garden, one question hung in the air. Would Kristaps Prozingis be able to return to his prime after months of rehab and leg surgery? The season was already in full swing, but Prozingis' absence had fans divided between hope and anxiety. The fate of the Boston Celtics seemed to be walking a tightrope, with the dream of repeating championship glory still fresh but dangerously threatened. When the clock ticked down, the atmosphere was filled with palpable tension. The stands erupted in applause as Prozingis, the 7 feet 3 inches giant, took his first steps on the court since the title. He seemed like a man on a mission, carrying not only the pressure of his return but the expectation of keeping the Celtics at the top. But was he ready? The first half, a showcase of resilience and dominance. As soon as the ball was tipped, what seemed like a game full of uncertainties quickly turned into a display of strength. Boston dominated the LA Clippers with a 29-point lead at halftime, while Prozingis showed flashes of his unmistakable skill. With 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 assists in just 23 minutes, he proved why he's a key piece in both the defensive and offensive schemes of the Celtics. His ability to space the floor, shoot from long range, and protect the rim was crucial. And, though he made only one of his 6 three-point attempts, his dominance in the paint, with dunks and precise hooks, made up for any shortcomings. But the true impact of Prozingis was felt on defense. The Celtics, who started the season with worrying numbers in rim protection, achieved their highest block total of the year, 11. More than just statistics, it was a symbol that the team was whole again, with Prozingis as its defensive anchor. Even so, he admitted he wasn't 100%. "I felt like I had flat tires at times, but it's part of the process," he said with a smile. Behind that lightheartedness, there was a fierce determination to return to the top. What does the future hold for Boston? Prozingis' return was not just a milestone for him, but a celebration for the Celtics. For 48 minutes, the arena became the stage for something bigger. An affirmation that this team has the potential to make history again. Will Prozingis be the link that makes Boston's defense impenetrable and its offense unpredictable? With a team as versatile and loaded as this, where every player can step into crucial roles, the sky seems to be the limit. But the real question strikes like thunder at the end of this story. Can this Celtics team be the first since 1969 to defend its title and etch its name as a dynasty? Jaylen Brown's silent rage turns into thunderous defiance. What's behind his transformation? It all started quietly, almost invisibly, a storm brewing beneath the surface. Jaylen Brown, once the understated cornerstone of the Boston Celtics, has shed his silence. This season, his voice is no longer just on the court but resonates powerfully off it, sending shockwaves through fans, rivals, and even corporate giants. But why has Brown chosen now to fight back? What has pushed this usually composed player to speak his truth with unflinching defiance? The Timberwolves incident, a spark in the firestorm. The latest chapter of Brown's bold new demeanor unfolded during a matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. In a blistering first quarter, Brown drained 5 threes, silencing the crowd. But instead of praise, the Timberwolves broadcast team took thinly veiled jabs at him. Did it fuel his performance? Brown says no, but his actions suggest otherwise. "I've spent my career staying quiet, letting others create the narrative," Brown admitted in a post-game interview. "But this year, I've decided to speak up. Not because it bothers me, it doesn't, but because it's time for me to call out the falsehoods." His calm tone belied the fire in his words. This moment wasn't isolated. Brown has been more outspoken this season, challenging anyone who questions his game, his marketability, or his worth. And his responses are far from passive. They're calculated, direct, and often accompanied by stunning performances that leave little room for rebuttal. Nike feud. The battle escalates. Brown's vocal defiance reached new heights during his ongoing feud with Nike. It began subtly, with tension over a Paris Olympic snub earlier this year. When Kawhi Leonard pulled out of Team USA, Brown expected the call-up. Instead, silence. His frustration boiled over, prompting cryptic social media posts like, "Nike, this what we doing?" And later, a chilling declaration, "I'm not afraid of you or your resources." The tension reignited after a clash with the Milwaukee Bucks, where Brown labeled Giannis Antetokounmpo's on-court antics as childish. Nike, seemingly siding with Giannis, posted a veiled jab after his 59-point game, writing, "Nothing childish about M59 for the Greek freak." Brown's reply was swift and cutting, "You'll got weird energy." While many see these moments as distractions, Brown has channeled them into fuel for his performance. The Celtics, fresh off a championship season, are playing as though they've been written off, a team with something to prove, led by a star who refuses to be ignored. The bigger question: what does this mean for Brown and the Celtics? As Boston's season unfolds, one thing is clear. Jaylen Brown's evolution isn't just about silencing critics. It's about reclaiming control of his narrative, proving his worth, and showing the world that the quiet ones often roar the loudest when pushed too far. But here's the looming question. Will this newfound defiance elevate Brown and the Celtics to even greater heights? Or is it a fire that risks burning too hot? Only time will tell if this bold transformation is the key to an era of dominance, or the beginning of an unstoppable clash between ego and expectation. Are you ready to see how this plays out? Timberwolves on the brink. Is Donte DiVincenzo already on the move? The Timberwolves season teeters on the edge of disaster. A team that promised so much after bold off-season moves now finds itself fighting to stay afloat with an 8-7 record. But the storm brewing within the roster is even more unsettling. Chemistry issues, shaky performances, and a daunting 20-year losing streak against the Raptors on the road have fans questioning whether this team can recover, or if its new pieces are destined for an early exit. The Randle-DiVincenzo experiment. A work in progress? When Minnesota acquired Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo in a blockbuster trade involving Karl-Anthony Towns, expectations were sky high. Yet, the reality has been far from ideal. Randle's questionable decision-making on the court, highlighted by a late-game misstep against Toronto that earned him a scolding from Anthony Edwards, only deepens concerns about this team's cohesion. As for DiVincenzo, his arrival was meant to bring firepower from beyond the arc. Last season, he was one of the NBA's top sharpshooters, but so far, his accuracy has been alarmingly off. Head coach Chris Finch's offensive schemes might take time to gel, but time is a luxury the Timberwolves can't afford if they hope to compete in the unforgiving Western Conference. Trade chatter. Fact or fiction? Recently, rumors swirled that DiVincenzo could be on the trade block, sparking a flurry of speculation among fans and analysts. However, NBA insider Mark Stein quickly poured cold water on these claims. I saw all kinds of Twitter chatter Friday about the supposed status of Minnesota's Donte DiVincenzo as a trade target for contending teams, Stein wrote. That runs counter to everything I've heard about the Wolves, who wanted DiVincenzo for more than a year before they actually acquired him and are said to have zero interest in fielding inquiries for him not yet 3 full months into his Wolves tenure. While Stein's report suggests stability, the Timberwolves' early struggles leave the door open for speculation. Could this be a public attempt to maintain leverage? Or is Minnesota genuinely committed to seeing this roster through its growing pains? A season on the line. The Timberwolves' upcoming schedule doesn't allow much breathing room. Following a challenging matchup against the Boston Celtics, they'll face the Houston Rockets, a team hungry to prove themselves. For DiVincenzo, Randle, and the rest of the squad, these games could mark a turning point. Yet, the larger question looms: can Minnesota's off-season gamble truly pay off? Or are we witnessing the cracks of a bold experiment that could collapse before it has a chance to succeed? As doubts intensify, one has to wonder, if the Timberwolves' chemistry doesn't improve, how long before the patience runs out and the trades begin? Hey Celtics fanatics! What do you think of this news? Leave your opinion in the comments, as it's highly valued.